Do you also feel that heavy pause, that little rush of panic, when the cashier at the supermarket asks you something in English?
Oh, absolutely, Emma. Do you still sometimes mix up words or worry about your grammar when you're just trying to ask where the sugar is kept?
I do, James. It's supposed to be such a simple daily thing, but those small supermarket conversations can feel like a high-stakes English exam. You want to ask something clearly, but your mind goes blank, or you use a word that sounds right, but it's totally the wrong one.
That pain point is so real. You just need to buy groceries, but suddenly you're worried about saying, I want 1 kilo sugar instead of, I would like 1 kilo of sugar, please. It makes you want to avoid talking entirely.
But you don't have to keep struggling. Today, we are going to fix exactly that. We're diving deep into making those supermarket conversations error-free and completely stress-free. We'll show you the exact, simple phrases to use, how to correct those common grammar mix-ups, and make your trip to the grocery store super easy.
Let's start with a really common one. Imagine you need help finding something. Emma, what would you naturally say if you were looking for bread flour?
I think I would ask the staff member, where is the flour of bread located?
That's a very common construction based on how we might phrase it in Urdu or Hindi. But in English, we usually use the type of flour as an adjective before the noun, or we just say the simpler phrase. Instead of where is the flour of bread located, which sounds a little formal and clunky, the correct and natural way to ask is, excuse me, where is the bread flour?
Where is the bread flour? Okay, that's much shorter. I always struggle with that of usage. It feels more complete to say flour of bread.
I understand. Let's practice that simple pattern. Say it clearly. Where is the bread flour?
Where is the bread flour? Got it. What if I needed to know if they have a specific brand of olive oil? I usually say, do you have available the Borges olive oil?
Good attempt, but we can make that smoother. The phrase available is often redundant in this simple question, and the word order is a little mixed up. The most natural way to ask is simply, do you have the Borges olive oil?
Do you have the Borges olive oil? I see. So I remove the word available. Why is that?
Because if you're asking a question in a store, it's already implied that you're asking if it's available. It's an unnecessary word in that context. Let's try another item. How would you ask about a specific type of milk, say almond milk?
I would say, do you keep the almond milk?
You're close. Keep isn't the most common verb here. The most common verb is simply to carry. Shops carry certain stock, so the correct question is, do you carry the almond milk? Or even simpler and more direct, do you have almond milk? Let's stick to the simplest one. Do you have almond milk?
Do you have almond milk? That makes sense. I will try to use do you have more. Let me test you, James.
Fire away.
Imagine you want to ask a store assistant if the bananas are fresh. What would you say?
I might point and ask, the bananas is fresh?
A classic agreement mistake. You've used is with a plural noun, bananas. You need to match the plural subject with the plural form of the verb to be, which is are. The correct question is, are the bananas fresh?
You caught me. That is such an easy mistake to make, even when you know the rule. Are the bananas fresh? Let me repeat that clearly. Are the bananas fresh?
Exactly. Always remember, singular gets is, plural gets are. Let's try another scenario. You want to ask for a discount or if there's a sale on the coffee. What would you say?
I would probably ask, is any offer on this coffee?
Again, that's a very direct translation that feels right, but isn't quite natural English. We don't usually say any offer in that structure. We usually use a different word. The most common phrase is there a discount on this coffee? Or if you want to use the word sale, is this coffee on sale?
Is this coffee on sale? That's much better. It's the phrase on sale that I need to remember. I forget prepositions a lot. It's not in sale or for sale, but on sale.
You got it. Prepositions are tricky, even for advanced speakers. Let's move to the checkout line. This is where the pressure is really on.
Yes, the cashier often asks me something I don't understand, and I just nod and smile nervously.
Let's anticipate some of those questions. Imagine the cashier asks if you brought your own bag. You would typically hear, do you have your own bag? Or do you need a bag? How do you reply if you need one?
I usually say, give me a bag, please.
That's understandable, but it sounds a little too direct or demanding. In English, we try to be a bit softer and more polite, especially with strangers providing a service. The best, most polite way is to use a helping verb like could or may. You should say, could I please have a bag?
Could I please have a bag? I see, so could I have is more polite than give me. That's a good tip for all situations, not just the supermarket. Could I please have a bag?
Absolutely. It makes a huge difference in how your English sounds. Let's say the total comes to $52.75 and you want to pay with a $100 bill. The cashier will ask you if you have the 75 cents. How would you reply if you don't have them?
I would say my change is not correct.
That's confusing. You mean you don't have the exact change, but you're saying your change is incorrect, which means they calculated the total wrong. A simple, clear reply would be, no, sorry, I only have 100.
No, sorry, I only have 100. Okay, that clarifies everything instantly. I need to stop translating word for word and start using the simple, ready-made phrases.
Exactly. Let's try another payment situation. What if you want to pay with your credit card, but you're not sure if the card machine is working?
I would ask, can I pay by card?
Good, but we can make it more common. We usually use the preposition with when talking about the payment method, or just a simpler construction. A very natural way to ask is, do you take cards? Or, can I pay with my card?
Can I pay with my card? Yes, that sounds much smoother. I often mix up by and with for payment methods, so it's pay with the card, not pay by card.
Precisely. Pay with is the one you want to remember here. Let's think about a situation where you realize an item was scanned twice. This happens all the time. How do you point this out politely?
I would say, I think you did 2 times the coffee.
That gets the message across, but it's a little jumbled. We can use stronger, more specific vocabulary. The correct phrase is to say that the item was scanned twice or charged twice. The best way to phrase it is, excuse me, I think this coffee was charged twice.
Excuse me, I think this coffee was charged twice. Okay, I need to use the verb charged in that situation. It's much more appropriate.
Let's practice that politeness structure again. Say you want to buy some fruit and you need to know the price per kilo. How would you ask?
I would ask, what is cost of these apples?
Close, but we're missing a small but crucial word, the verb the. And we usually ask about the price or cost in a slightly different structure. The correct question is, what is the price of these apples? Or, even better, using do to ask for the rate, how much do these apples cost per kilo?
How much do these apples cost per kilo? That is a full, proper sentence. I often forget to put the before nouns, and I mix up what is with how much for price. So for money, it is often how much.
Yes, how much is usually the better choice for uncountable nouns or for general price. Let's try a daily life request. You bought too many lemons and you want to return 1 or 2. How would you ask for a partial refund?
I would say, I want to give back these 2 lemons.
Give back is understandable, but the formal and correct term for returning items in a store is return, and you should ask if it's possible first. The correct question is, can I return these 2 lemons, please?
Can I return these 2 lemons, please? Yes, return is the correct verb. I must remember that. Return.
Perfect. Let's shift our focus to understanding instructions because the staff might use words you don't expect. Imagine the staff member tells you, the fresh produce is located in the chiller cabinet. Which word might confuse a beginner?
Chiller cabinet. I would probably guess it means a fridge, but I wouldn't be sure. I'd probably ask, what is a chiller cabinet meaning?
That's a good question, but the structure is wrong. The simplest, most polite way to ask for a definition is to say, what does chiller cabinet mean?
What does chiller cabinet mean? I see. I keep forgetting that structure. What does blank mean? And yes, a chiller cabinet is basically a refrigerated display for fresh food.
Exactly. Let's try a common supermarket sign. You see a sign that says, limit 2 per customer. What does that mean, and how would you ask for clarification if you weren't sure?
It means I can't buy more than 2 of that item. If I was confused, I would ask, why only 2 can I take?
Again, the word order is mixed up, which happens when we translate in our heads. The correct and clear question is, why can I only take 2? Or if you want to be even more polite, you can refer to the sign. Could you tell me why the limit is 2?
Could you tell me why the limit is 2? I'll use that one. It sounds very proper and polite. Let's go back to the basic process. When you walk into the store and you're approached by a staff member who asks, "Can I help you find something?" How do you respond if you don't need help right now?
I would say, no thank you, I am looking only.
Good, but the final part, "I am looking only," is a little awkward. The most natural response is, "No thank you, I'm just looking."
I'm just looking. That's a smooth, short, and useful phrase. I'm just looking.
That phrase is a must-know. Now, James, let's reverse roles. You're trying to find a specific type of cheese, let's say cheddar. How would you ask the store assistant?
I would ask, do you have the cheese cheddar near?
You're trying to combine the name and the location. You can simplify this a lot. The best way is to ask for the item first